Alright, how's it going today? We're going to take a look at sensors today. And if you look in NEI, we have a large variety of sensors here. Now, these are actual partial blocks that go onto whatever it is you're wanting to test. And these are three that are more, well, two of them are more server side. The other one you can definitely use as a player. The TPS one, I do believe. Let me look here. TPS sensor. Okay, it does actually have a recipe. I didn't think it did, but there's your TPS sensor. Basically, 2000 is what you want. So as long as you're right about 2000, your server's going good. This will work in single player as well because you have an internal server for that as well. You see where it just popped down to 11 and up to 4. That was a quick lag spike on the server, but it all flushed out, so server's doing good. Player count tells you how many people are playing. Right now, I'm the only one here because it's kind of late at night. And then this is a Chrono sensor. Basically, this is your clock. This is a very expensive GregTech clock. Now, the thing that's nice about it, if I can actually find it in here, there it is. So there's your recipe for that clock, some redstone alloy, double tin alloy, and glass. The nice thing about this is all of these sensors are redstone activating. They will give redstone signals out. So if you wanted something that gave you a specific time, you could actually use this for it. I'm going to pop that off. We're going to take care of checking that out in just a second. But let's go ahead and go through some of the other ones. There's one other utility one, which is outside, and we're going to wait for nighttime and we'll check it out. But these four here are weight sensors. This is gram, this is kilogram, this is ton, and this is kiloton. The one you would probably use the most would be the kilogram. I actually had to take lithium down to 1/72nd of a pile to actually get it to register not over the max. So we're already at 3296 grams, and it's only got 4 1/72 in there. The kilogram, you can see chest is empty. As we drop in rotten flesh, it'll register how much weight those 15 are in kilograms. Now, there are some things that don't have weight. Like, I was looking at string is one of them. I don't know where the... Oh, it's right here in my inventory. String does not have a weight, so you can't weigh those. But most everything else does. Torches don't. Everything I do believe in GregTech does. But there's a few Minecraft things, and I'm sure there's some things in other mods that don't as well. And then you have your ton, which I'm using green schist here for that. And you'll see that this thing's going to drop quite a lot of them before it goes to 2 tons, then 3. And then for the kilotons, I'm actually using gold dust here. I had to have that much gold dust just to get to 1 kiloton. So I don't actually use these. I prefer to use this one, which is an itemometer, which literally counts the amount of items that are in the inventory that it is connected to. So you can see here that it drops in and counts them. Now, with these, you'll notice it's not doing one every tick. That's because of lag reasons. Greg does not have it register the display every tick. It's like one every second or something like that. But it does for redstone. It tracks it, it just doesn't display it. Because the display lags the most of this block. So I think I said that right. The display lags the most. Yeah. So then you also have a item stack. This one will tell you how many stacks you have in there. So it doesn't matter how many items are in the stack. It only matters how many different stacks. So you'll see that it only changes when a new stack is represented, not when multiple items are added to an existing stack. Okay, so that's the item sensors that we have. Now let's go outside and we'll take a look at the other utility one, which is a light sensor or a lumometer sensor. And you'll see that this block right here has 14 light. Now if I break that, it goes to 13, 12, 11, and so on and so forth until it gets all the way down to 4, which is, from my testing, an ambient light level. We can actually come out here, stand here, hit F3, and if I can remember where it is, it should say BL. I don't need to look at that very often. Oh, it says B3. 2. Is that? No, that can't be the block light. I thought it said BL. Somebody that uses this. There it is, BL5. So that's the block light. This is block light 4. So this is the actual block that it's registering it for, because it says block light of 4. Took me a minute to find it, but I found it, daggone it. Don't punch things. It hurts here. Okay, so next we have the two fluid ones. You have a fluidometer and a bucketometer. So with this one, it checks how many actual liters are in the inventory behind it. This one checks how many actual buckets are in the container behind it. So same thing, just one is a little more precise than the other. I typically use the bucketometer because you only have 5 places of numbers. The one that most people are used to, the thermometer sensor. So if we take a bit of this gold here to make sure we don't blow up this crucible, gold being a very dense material, it won't heat up too fast. We'll just throw a little bit of that in there. And there should be something in here. And let's give it a light, and you'll see the temperature going up on the gauge. So that will give you a nice little readout of your temperature. The one next to it is a givelometer. Too many people may not know about this one, but it is a very important meter if you're running boilers, which if you're playing GT6, you most definitely probably are. What this is basically a pressure meter, or it checks the bar of the thing it is connected to. So you'll see as the pressure gauge on the front goes up, the pressure number on the givelometer goes up on the boiler. Now you can actually use this meter as a shutoff for your boiler, double check the water real quick, and you can redstone it so when it gets to the center, if you have a pipe actually hooked up to pull the steam out, which I don't, that number should stop going up as long as the steam is being used. So you can actually set it to that number, and if it ever goes over it, then it'll send out a redstone signal and shut it off. We've showed that. We're going to go ahead and pick up the burning box so we can leave that thing sit there. Now, you may be wondering how I have it on the side instead of like all the rest of these. That is changed with a monkey wrench by looking at the sensor and smacking it in the direction you want it to go. So now it is checking this air block right here, so it's 0. If I hit it over this side, it's checking that down here and up there. So that's all you have to do if you want to change them. Now over here we have 3 more sensors. We have a progress sensor, an electrometer sensor, and a tachometer sensor. So if I turn on the power to this engine, or this motor, you will see 32 RU, which is what this motor is putting out and giving up there to that machine. And when I undo it, it is not. Now, if we connect this back over here, you will see that the power going in is 63, and the progress sensor is stuck at 12. I do believe, let's see, do I actually have it on? Yes, okay. So this is just going so fast that the progress sensor cannot keep up with it. So it's just saying 12 all the time. This is more used on something, or more useful on something that runs very, very long, like say a replicator, that you can tell how far it is through the progress. Now, also, what is nice is if we actually look at the other settings to these sensors, you can actually have a little more control over things through redstone. So first off, if you use a screwdriver on the number display, you can change it to hexadecimal or back to normal. So if you're someone who knows how to read hexadecimal, which I am not very good at, and likes to have a hexadecimal readout, you can have so on your sensors just by hitting that display, switching it over, and there you go. That is very useful, I have found, for things like the lightweight ometer here, or even the thermometer. If you're getting numbers that are way too high and you need something that's a little more condensed and easy to deal with. The next thing we have here is you can change the averaging. Oh crap, I missed a screwdriver. By clicking on the button side here. So it'll say averaging over one value, but I can go up by 256. I can go down, or that's going up, sorry. Go down by hitting these on this side. So the buttons for anybody that doesn't know, I don't know why I switched that. Let's switch this over to regular numbers, and we're going to put it on greater than. Now the buttons are -1 and +1. So there you go. This is +10, -10, +100, and -100. Now, the setting that I have this in is a greater than setting, which means that if its power is greater than 1, it's going to output a redstone signal. So if I do that, I now have a redstone signal because it's greater than 1. It tells me it's on. Now, I can also set it to equals. So if I wanted to know it was equal to, say, 32, right now it is not equals to 32. If I do that, it is now equal to 32, so it's back on. And you also have a less than setting, which will work exactly the same way as a greater than, just in reverse. You also have a target. So you can set this to whatever number you want for your target, and it will tell you if you are on said target. And there are these two red numbers here. There is a greater than and a equals, and that is equal to 100%. 100% of what this can handle. It's very useful on this one over here because it will read what the crucible can handle, which is 2500 for the ceramic. So you can set this to that, and let's say we want it at only, oh, never mind, you can't change the numbers. So 100%, right? Now, we want it to shut off when it gets about 90%, which would be about 14 redstone. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that should be good there. Now, if we pop this in here and we give it a light, now you should see this should go up as the heat goes up inside of there if I didn't run out of fire because the ashes got too high. But that redstone will continue to go up as it gets closer to its 100%. 100% equals 15 full redstone. And then the same for the greater than or the less than. You'll see now it's lighting up all of them because it is at basically its bare minimum, as far from 100% heat as it can get. Now, personally, for me, I prefer to use the greater than setting, and then I can set my crucible temperature at what I want. So say I want it to go no higher than 2300, so it has time to burn out the last fuel. If you're using coal, you would not want to set it this high. You'd want something more closer to 2000. But for when you're burning liquid or gas fuels, you can go to like 2400, and you're perfectly fine. And then it will give you a redstone signal to automatically shut this off. Now, I will typically not put it on the front here because redstone will get in the way, I will stick it on the side and then have the redstone coming down and over to a piston that will shut off the burning box. But that is your different settings for the sensors, how to adjust them. Just remember, you have 3 different places to interact here. You have the display for the hexadecimal or regular numeral value. Here for the setting of the display of what it is going to display redstone for. And then over on the buttons for your averaging, if there is a case where you would want it to give you an average over so many amount of updates. I don't ever use it. I always leave it on 1. Let me know if you actually find a use where you need that. So far, I just leave it on 1 and it works great for me. Now, I have personally used most of these sensors from here on down. They come in very useful. I don't really know if somebody can give me an idea of what you would ever need precise weights for. I would be more than willing to listen because I don't see so much use in these. For someone that's a server admin, the TPS one is absolutely great. You don't have to have a command to give you your TPS. You can just look at the wall, see. You know, a lot of people go, oh man, it seems laggy today. Maybe it's a spider on my roof that's been driving us all crazy today. Maybe his AI is lagging the server. And you can go over and look at the wall and go, oh no, it's staying right at 2000. Server's fine. And I'm not real sure why you need player count. You can always hit tab for that, but you never know. Maybe you want to have a redstone contraption that'll set off fireworks if you break a specific number of people on the server, or fancy disco lights that go off if you have more than the amount of people you think should have access to your server because somebody's a dumbass and put out the server IP with the pack. Not that any server admin would ever be dumb enough to do something like that. The electrical one is really nice. Now, I will tell you that it does not, from my testing work on battery boxes or machines, it only works on the wires. Same with the tachometer, only works on the shafts. So, if you're wanting to know what your power is for these, you will want to use the proper sensors like the energy sensor here. Little link up in the description. I'll have a card for my video explaining those. But if you need to know how much power is actually going through a wire, they're really nice for that. Or if you use the shafts and you want to know how much is going through your shaft, that as well. Hopefully I did a good job explaining these. I'm not the best at tutorials, so I'm hoping these tutorials are helping you guys. If there's anything I missed, any question you guys have, feel free to leave me a message. Come to Discord and yell at me. I will listen to all and any questions and do my best to answer them. And as with update videos, if I don't know the answer, I will go to Greg and I will get the answer for you, or send you if you would like to go and talk to him yourself directly. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned at least a little. And you guys have an absolutely great day. And I will see you next time.